padma sadarda ahum banjarangara 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 padma sadarda ahum Banzaranger 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 Padma Sadarda Banzarangara Padma Sadarda Ahom 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 Banzarangara Padma Sadarda ahum banzarangara padma sadardo 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 ahum banzarangara padma sadarda ahum banjarangara 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 padma sadarda ahum banzarangara 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 padma sadarda banzarangara padma sadarda ahum 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 banzarangara padma sadarda Banzarangara Padma Sadarda Ahom Banzarangara Padma Sadarda Ahom Banzarangara Padma Sadarda Atma Sadarda Ahom Banzarangara Padma 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 Sadarda Ahom Banzarangara
Om Sambara Sambara Bamana Saramahan Zambaba Hum Palasoha Om Sambara Sambara Bamana Saramahan Zambaba Hum Palasoha Om Sambara Sambara Bamana Saramahan Zambaba Hum Palasoha Om Nantata Namda Ram Janan Hanta Pabda Shim Shakji Jana Bjipaya Sardi Chuda Gimdana Bagba Zoganab Shagam Salad Jagab Dashi Shagame Yarabo Salaftan Dun Jibur Shamba Dianhwal Gita Hualatamba Kanla Gomba Yachire Dagpa Janan Hambur Taram Paga Salata Hualatana Simchan and Hamja Largon Jagba Huala Yatsam Zalapa Sarabata Hualatim Sansaman to be Trashi Hualan Pile Wab Dever Shagpab Jella Shagam Zalon Jan Huala Juna Huardan Durjin Zanab Sherry Zawa Gumbu Shambo Huala Saya Nyambu Japan and Beresil Namki Nyambu Pamjaga Gandab Zan Apala Durji Karkara La Shandan Urva Dawara La Tanya Maya Shagam Sana Lagnam Trashi Huala Gim Chok Shanchabu Senhua Jella Shagam Zalor Chinadim Chok Trashi Sir Yam Dom Jom and Zang Yel on Kamalan and Jagadondo Penso Walimi and Nabajaram Wang Diram Corridor State in Chinatam Chok Jajab Shakan and Janam Shok Dave Jera Chujam Deep Yadama Garsono Jambi Walabi the work Trashi Hamo Jella Sham Zalalo Samba Chim Dim Johnston made the Merton and Yanabu Yelam Corridor Party Bodala Wang Mimzan and Turjid Arzim Corlo Tang Trashela Dam Dong Tong Durji Janaba Relatum Churtin Jamtanam Zanas Hasamanis Gela Trashi Pid and Jitan Dagjaga Dam Darab Shawa Tumbala Gatani Varaseva Kanajan Dotun Hualim Hila Samdun Yevjan and Trashi de la Pansam Sobara Shanakan the Lami of Shelem Shago Rurmojan and Chanjalazin of Zam so Jeep Jalabi Mulam Lib Shovi Kanam Zan to the Burton Zijerajan Namor Najaya Namo Bangawati Bandar Sarata Mardana Tangataya Arahati Samyak Sampataya Taliata Banjir Banjir Mahan Banjir Mahatin Bandar Mahabaya Bandar Mahabuta Zatan Bandar Mahabuta Manjupa Santarman Banjir Sarvakarma Warana Bishudan Banjir Sohana Morana Jaya Namo Bangawati Bandar Sarata Mardana Tangataya Arahati Samyak Sampataya Taliata Banjir Banjir Mahan Banjir Mahatin Bandar Mahabaya Bandar Mahabuta Zatan Bandar Mahabuta Manjupa Santarman Banjir Sarvakarma Warana Bishudan Banjir Sohana Morana Jaya Namo Bangawati Bandar Sarata Mradana Tangataya Arahati Samyak Sampataya Tariata Banjir Banjir Mahan Banjir Mahatin Banjir Mahabaya Banjir Mahabuta Zatan Banjir Mahabuta Manjupa Santarman Banjir Sarvakarma Warana Bishudan Banjir Malisim Janan Kananja Gonam Jerajan Dada de Hom Jim Zadam Jum Zadan Hangunam Malim Jabjanam Chianan Jerapa Jumandanam Kuranjin in the Shells Dam Dolam Tim Zim Shir Near a Jazam Teram Tayin Chitim Sugar Bab the Jadam Bam Take them Jumanda Jesus Babam Jam Hoda Janara Jirbala Shagan Janyala Satam Shobji Litina Tisama Shabamaya Songikan Daki Mane Tagatam Chadala Litanga Yadami Shabjo Zambo Shurba Mulamat of Dagi Jaravat Hamchada Yajem Samanda Janga Dalanyala Lera Mantarpai Jaravakan Rata Shamsalalo Darchi Dana Danyala Sanjina Sanji when Abjipata Tehtara Chuja Malepa Tamchada Jarava Taki Gambaremo Tetagam Mazada Jamso Namayanji and Lavajam Sudakanji Jalava Kanji Yundan Rabjudaja They were a sharpa Tamchada Daki to Metoga Damban Tawa Dambata Sanyanam Dam Shipa Dim Chota Maramim Chota Abdi Putambaye Jarava Tetagalanam Chuperje Nabza Damba Nam Dam Jam Chodam Shima Birmara Revenyam Bata Godabat Yalaparam Purpum Chokan and Jid Jarava Tetalanam Chuperje Chupaganam Lamira Jachiwa Tita Jelavatam Chadayamu Zambo Shula Talaput of Taraki Jarava Kanab Sham Salam Chuperje Dole chaga jerdan te me wangina li tang tang tip jen ye ti Dakim jin bam chim chi ba te da tam che da daki so surib sha shok ji jar va kan da sam ji chi rang ji de nam dang lob dang ma lob dang do wa kan jim so nam kang la yang te da kan ji ji sa da ye ra kan nam shok jim ji tin dor ma nam shang chi bir ber sang ji ma cha ni gom bo de da da ke tham che da lam kor lob lan na mi le pam kor ber kal nyang an da tu na kam je da de da la am ru kan pam jang be wa shir kal pa jang da le nyal bi ji para yam da game tham mo re je ra sur ver je chang sa da wa tam chu chang sha ba da ji se ye ra ke da jang sur ba ye ge wa chang za da da ke chap sa ga pa tham cha da da game shang che be shir lo Shab janab jip sanji chum dandi tham chadad sapchalani pup shanchip senhua chimbo nam lama durjim zamba chimbo nam daglar gon zulum shanchip nyamburam chiji war sanji nam la chap sunch chudam shanchip senhua yo sola an devjana chap sunch shanchip nyamburam chiji war sanji nam la chap sunch chudam shanchip senhua yo sola an devjana chap sunch shanchip nyamburam chiji war sanji nam la chap sunch shanchip senhua yo sola an devjana chap sunch tar unji de shagim shanchip tin jer bata shanchip senhui la pala te taram janani patar tib janan dola pandun de shanchip sim nam jem jes tib janan tanam la pala ram bab janda bla perje Chittarang unji de shagim shanchip tin jer bata shanchip senhui la pala te taram janani patar Tibjanan dola pandun de shanchip sim nam jem jes Tibjanan tanam la pala rambab janda la perje Chattarang unji de shagim shanchip tin nam jer bata shanchip senhui la pala te taram janani patar Tibjanan dola pandun de shanchip sim nam jem jes Tibjanan tanam la pala rambab janda la perje Tandi Daktim di bayud mai jad palag par thob terang sanji researchi sanji tis tajirdo Dan daki chene jari tam tham bole samante chumalam samburim dala nyok par mam jarate tarapsha Lomi bishaktar pambuli chattar renchina nyal pastar tevjana jaji tartene shanchip simna daglarchi daki teram chulpa tham chada jab shangaram ru abeshagan nyal tan Delam jundu uzananjil hatan lamin la soga barachi shanchip sim churum bochi marchi panama chejirachi sti panyam bahme paraya kone kondam peveresha shanchip sim dam mandarajam shanchip shul abjarvata Sardi namji yom zom sham dakje de nama pavarasho shanchip senhua namji nam rutunan di la gondrabasho gomboyi na kar gomba simchana namla temjirasho simchanan thamchala de ta danjirji nganru thamchada tagta pavarasho shanchip senhua kang tag sarabjigapa te taga kanje molamam japarasho oma honja de chen barwa wanga bob janda de ton zozur tag pa yeshirka acha deb dan pa miram janle durjenya mana wa chimbu khon churkana wan dai durji chum jitana wam shi ti ji ji chazi lama jerbum khondinga wam jer na ta da na wan chen hereg sawa yeshi bandra wara dem changda pa jerpo de chen der mani jirgi em chorip shede man chothan me je wam shi de ton kar wam zala durji wa wanda ki so na tom nyem ba chimbu nganyara durje kai garje ta samayo gamana sum gabja din kam sum wazra marbum khonde onla chaba je tam chada yo sang da parabshet durje chaba chimbu ti jina namni hudum durgim chokto da durje chokje jagba Deva Chimbuyi, not the Deva Chimburadam Shiripa, Tai Jim Jalatraver, Karchan, and the Jekon of Shiva, Jimjipa, Ramjamsa Samawangal, Hatsavana, Kibis, and the Subshinjilo, Chotan, Drum, the game Quatada, Tomila one the Jepun, Juma, Honsha, the Chinabara, one go of Janda, the Tonzuru Topa, Shirka, Macha Depden Pamiram Jani, Durgenia Mana, Chimbo, Churkana, I'm Dai, Durjum, Jitana Wamshi, Chazig. Kundinga wam jiren on to the no once in here. Sanwa Yashim Bandrawara, Dim Chong the Pajarpo, the Chinitiri, Manlater Gi, Tori Shiriman, Chotan Mishaji, Wamshi, Tonkar, once the Durji, Wawandaki, so Anton Bechimbung, and Yelet, Durjika, Karcheta Samayo, Gomenasong of Jadin, Kamsangi, was the Ramarapum Kundi, La Chabataji, Tom Chadoshan, the Peripsit, Durji Chapa, Chimbuti, and Yahudum, the Kim Chotology, Durji Church. Chimbuyi, and after the day was Chimburadum Shiripa, Tai Jim Jalata, Rokarachan, and the Jekum of Shiva, Jimjipa, Ramjam Sasamawangal, Hazola, Kibizru, and Deep Subshinjil. Chotana, Drum, the game Patad, told me the one dip ship, traversal, Loma, Honsha, the Chinbaraba, Wanga, Portanga, the Tonsor Topa, Yashirka, Macha Deb, then by me, Ramjani, Durgenia Mana, Chimbual, Churkano, and Tai, Durji, Jitina Wamshi, Gigi Chelsea, but my dear bum, Kundinga won't get in after the no once in here. Sanwa Yashim Bandara, them Chonda Bajarpo, the Chinitiri, Malater Gi, Tori Chitiman. Chotam Shadi, Wamshi, the Tonker, Wamsana Durji, Wawandaki, so Nantom Nimbe Chimbung, and yet Durjika, Garjeta Samayo, Garmanos and Gabjatin, Kamsamung, was the Marpum Kundi, on like Chabat, the Tamchalayosa, the Peripsida, Durji Chapa, Chimbuti, Nani Hangodrum, Lurgim, Chotodoja, Durji Chapachim. Tai Jim to the Dava, Rokurjan, and the Jekoma Shiva, Jimjip, Ramjam Sasamawangal, Hatsola, Kibis, and the Subshinjilo, Chotan, Drum, the game Fatada, Tomi the one dip, Shedab, Originaire, Nabshan, Samabama, Kesara, Dombola, Yamsan, Choker, Notribni, Padma, Johnny, Jisa, Jam, Cortan, Kandro, Mambo, Kor, Chiliji, Jisa, Dagdabet. Shinji Lobshire Shaksa Sol Gara Panamas the Hoy to the Pangaram, some Jedatan, Japarins and Chimbo Jed, Chansamani, Jedata, Depsin Gardel Hazola, Sorvan Debs of Shinji Lovish, and some watches, some buyers in the Patam, Chodan, the Manga, Drips of the Pangaram, some Jetam, Japarins and Chimbo Jed, Chansamani moved Jet, Depsin Gardel Hazola, Sorvan Debs of Shinji Lovish, and some watches. Somebody of gender padam, Chodan Tamu, Drubs of the Pangaram, some jet, the parents in Chimbo Jet, the Chansamani would get out of Chinkajel Hatzol, Subshinji Lobish, and also we were just somebody of gender padam, Chodan Tamu, Drubs of the Pangaram, some jet. Sing Bajel Hazolam, Zarvan Dips of Shinji Lovishana, some watches, some by Gender Padam, Chodan Tamu, Drubs of the Pangaram, some jetam, the parents in Chimbo Jet, the Chansamani would jet, the Singajel Hazolam, Zarvan Dips of Shinji Lovishana, some watches, some by Gender Padam, Chodan Tamu, Drubs of the Pangaram, some jetam, the parents in Chimbo Jet, Chansamani would jet, the Singajel Hazolam, Zarvan Dips of Shinji Lovishana, some watches, some by Gender Padam, Chodan Tamu, Drubs of the Pangaram. Some jetam, the parents in Chimbo Jet, the Chansamani would jet, the Singajel Hazolam, Zarvan Dips of Shinji Lovishana, some watches, some by Gender Padam, Chodan Tamu, Drubs of the Pangaram, some jet, the parents in Chimbo Jet, the Chansamani would jet, the Singajel Hazol, Zarvan Dips of Shinji Lovishana, some watches, some by Gender Padam, Chodan Tamu, Drubs of Jelam, to the jumps or wrapped up team, Dagaso, Kandani. Perceptions, Nata Galapon, Tab to the Javada, Chudam Jashim, Piraver, Zanata, Solo, ji mi le song ba ni da tim jong ge na ge mi le zong ji de mi cel ram da na nam kerem chu chen jam zu hui ren chen san che ba le ni da wa sta tum ba cong mi de xiao jia sang gi ne ser jim dog chen nam san da hui she le dan chu ku sam su ne dor jam je she ye san nam she ja la jiang shang she yo na nyam she dar si lom zela na ma ser ji re ter zip ji de hua lan ba re wa 我在这边快阳天不你不这边的你不能吃这说，别人做个点从苦的这样苦的讲，真不怎么记这心他你的，咱知道的我们吃过花了走了吧。 جاب كنم دي بدغنين چيمبر خسلا نيانجي چيمبر خدنني ميجام زوني مولم چيمبر عبجتب بركرة ترم غتم توشر مرد دغوي تنباتي جي جنب شغم سلالو دغجن قوسم جيت صولوم شرب جي كنم زام شرب چند مني بل تغمل نبسغ دي تومالي بانيانيم جرب جغبو سوسرب شغ پغدان سوسوشتي ورگی ون دیسم سغلا جیس یرانو سب جا جچین چوجیم کرلو سلام شغب جرب جنمم چل برند کرد سول چون نم کرتوی یشیر که دیسم گم جرمی پرم شگمولج دشی نانور جنجی سلطن جان جرب زرک تغت ناورن زد دکی دیسم سغب گی چوجیم خچبن رو کلا پنهلت چوجی جلبو تغبرم نیبشل جان چوجی جلو کم پان تو پرشو دغچان نیمیم رو ام گم میل نام تیجین لغ پرب زن وک بچننده جانتا دیندر رنچن نام سمنجه ناوا چنیل چجین چنینیل دیفشر جام چغ سون میل چی پر یل چی دبیغ نیانی سون دیون Tamja chimbo mamnyala var shanchva vart thiji jim zanam zodam sanam jadpada zamli pachan jishton bushkar le yashiji wazarana zobana chimbo dagdan simchan thamchadaji rapa thamchalab salajan thakpa chimbo lamje yundana salab jandaji sharmar dogba sanombar samla lama stumba chumdan di tibjana shagbada chumbaya da barado pasanji wardiram shajada barab shagim salam chutush japsam chewam lam stumba chumdan di tibjana shagbada chumbaya da barado pasanji wardiram shajada barab shagim salam chutush japsam chewam lam stumba chumdan di tibjana shagbada chumbaya da barado pasanji wardiram shajada barab shagim salam chutush japsam chewam lam Tumba chumdan di tibjana shagbada chumbaya da parzo pasanji wardiram shagda banam shagim salam chutur chapsam chewablam Tumba chumdan di tibjana shagbada chumbaya da parzo pasanji wardiram shagda banam shagim salam chutur chapsam chewablam Tumba chumdan di tibjana shagbada chumbaya da parzo pasanji wardiram shagda banam shagim salam chutur chapsam chewablam Stumba chumdan di tibjana shagbada chumbaya da parzo pasanji wardiram shagda balam shagim salo chutur chapsam che o tariyata o mani mani mahamanaiso 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 ha o mani mani mahamanaiso o mani mani mahamanaiso o mani mani Umani mani mahamanaizo, umani mani mahamanaizo, umani mani mahamanaizo, umani mani mahamanaizo, umani mani mahamanaizo. Devara shagpa chirka chimda tang kurda gatsi tsatang shinkamanda. Kirgim tam chog zangbu chindawa, tenda kunaram dagzo jiravara sho. Nami sarvata tangata bayom bakum kambe sarvata kangate. Saparana amangangana kansu hai jin. Dotan kandra dam han tochi. Listen by me, Jim to the Sanchin, Lord of them, the Quator Pony and Jim, Solom, Chateau, some don't hundreds of Jim Dutton and Country, Dramham to watch here. Listen by me, Jim to the Sanchin, Lord of them, the Quator and Pony and Jim, Solom, Chateau, some don't hundreds of Jim Dutton and Country, Dramham to watch here. Listen by me, Jim to the Sanchin, Lord of them, the Quator Pony and Jim, Solom, Chateau, some hundreds of the Gandab Zamo, Yeshi to be awesome, Yanti Jaramo Ekanzatem, Yeshi Nedam Jitin Mamoto, Solom Chatum Jeremim Chanim Zod, Hoin Gandab Zamo, Yeshi to Bursala, Yanti Jaramo Ekanzatem, Yeshi Nedam Jitin Mamoto, Solom Chatum Jeremim Chanim Zod, Hoin Gandab Zamo, Yeshi to Bursala, Yanti Jaramo Ekanzatem, Yeshi Nedam Jitin Mamoto, Solom Chatum Jeremim Chanim Zod. Trong trong chim ji chim bồ ra la, Japan am jere dom man chaja ta, Zadang je kar Japan dip jerem chim, Solom chotam charamim chanim zod. She trong trong chim ji chim bồ ra la, Japan am jere dom man chaja ta, Zadang je kar Japan dip jerem chim, Solom chotam charamim chanim zod. She trong trong chim ji chim bồ ra la, Japan am jere dom man chaja ta, Zadang je kar Japan dip jerem chim, Solom chotam charamim chanim zod. And them Jennifer Chambu names. Tamanzanga Ponizo, captured some Jerry, so down Jim, so long Chatham Jeremim names. Hoin them Jennifer Chambu names, give the Manzanga Ponizo, captured some Jerry, so down Jim, so long Chatham Jeremim names. Hoin them Jennifer Chambu names, give the Manzanga Ponizo, captured some Jerry, so down Jim, so long Chatham Jeremim names. Panama Wanga Quanian to watch. Chips and a budget boy only where it's a marble quacker Japan Jim, Solom Chatham Jeremim names. Shapama Wanga Quanian to watch. Chips and a budget boy only where the marble quacker Japan Jim, Solom Chatham Jeremim names. Shapama Wanga Quanian to watch. Chips and a budget boy only where it's a marble quacker Japan Jim, Solom Chatham Jeremim names. Gashi Yella, Jamba Zamji Jam, Dodapang, or Tevaran Zanapaya, Churchon Yevjanam Norvajanam Jib, Dakan Samtumali, Neran Javan Zoda, Korandia Chukan. Kataribang Randam Amgayashi Olangilon Mowa Wardanam Jambu Durjila Namba Yapchi Yebjanam Norvanyad Karaksadam Zimzam Bandra Daya Chin Chumchel Shagdir Aladar Javni Telatron Walazaram Midam Cho Nantakaband Lama Mire Salai Nijin Rewo Sterni Jankama Sanjama Walay Egyptian Love Yedalashman Jimmy de Panzo Jabala Solorwa Deva Gom Yedesto Baim Povar Shenanjilova Nichinero Serni Jankama Sanjama Hualai Egyptian Love Yedalashman Jimmy the Pantoy Jabala Solorwa Devar Gom Yedalashman bar Shin Baim Ho Bar Shin Ji Love Ani Chin Mo Sterni Jang Kama Sun Jam Holiday Gibson Love Yed Ashman Jimmy Pants Javla Solorva Demagom did the store by Pover Shenanji Oloboy Tarna Lama Olni Tiller Jerang Pshaw Nizia Nya Wintam Jadakan Yashi Jim Dim Lama Da Kalawam Nyambu Shenlab Toba Parasam Jiwa Ganta Yang Tabla Madame de Medan Chujin Huala Long de Jiang Sadang Lam Yun Rabzuni Durjim Changa Gombam Yera Toba Joy Jumdan Dim Gombon Jam Holayang Shakim Salalo Gangalo Judem Yetam Teranya Taranam Tarab Sadavi Janyara Dongan Jam Zimshiran Yet Kara Lawam Zan Contact Zon Mari Mantana Dingala Jizarawa Dotsoga Kanla Chief Tarsi and Lagati Ayantana Som Dictor Chedron Yaman Honly Chedron Zadacha Maria Mamsadadim Nadanyaka Chemyala Chum Zadarata the Natar Jans have Jim Tarsona Yundan and Lizo Jetri Tawoska Chetak of Jadam Cheni Janji of the Blue Mensalan Jaquala Ayala and the Lum Arapatanada Arapatanado, 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 Arapatanado. Arapatanada, 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 Arapatanada. Arapatanada, 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 Arapatanada. Arapatanada, Arapatanada, Arapatanada. Sedanan Kirjim Cheraba was a jeep, Dagmlosh, the member of Salani. Kadam dam ju jonle topaya, Lodro Pompe, and now I've jealous solo.
Homage to Buddha Shakyamuni, homage to the courageous warrior Manjushri, homage to great lineage masters. in order to receive the teachings of Tathagata, let's then give rise and aspiration to the Supreme Bodhicitta. So let's continue with the class of the Supreme Mahayana teaching of the Shrangama Sutra. Since the beginning of giving the teaching of the Shrangama Sutra, in fact, what I observed is that I think people have increased their devotion towards this teaching, and I'm quite satisfied with it. And I saw lots of people who are engaging in the diligent studying of this. The pre-class and after-class, I see that lots of people would prepare for this class to read into commentaries and prepare, as well as after-class discussion groups and so on. There are people who only listen to the class, and there are people who sometimes listen and sometimes don't. Anyhow, I can't require everyone to be of the high capacity in terms of studying the Dharma. Anyhow, I really encourage those of you who are listening to this class as well as studying the Dharma in general to be patient. Do not give up because of other people's saying. You only listen to how other people would ask you whether if you've gained some insights or not through listening to one or two classes. Don't do that. In fact, during the course of studying, you probably feel that you have to spend lots of effort and energy, and that's normal because studying is a course of hardship, and some hardships like this is worthy of going through, because after studying and after understanding lots of such knowledge, your understanding and the way that the Dharma would change your mind stream is completely different. And compared to the benefit that you can receive to the hardships that you go through, I think the hardship is really nothing compared to such great benefits that could create to you. Master Qing Liang, who in fact taught the sutra for in fact a long period of time. He teaches about 8 hours a day, and he lived till about over 100 years old, 102, I think. And Master Meng Can, who in fact passed away about 2 years ago, he gave teaching on the Avatamsaka Sutra for 482 classes, and in total 668 hours, 662 hours. If you were to think that, if you were to contemplate upon engaging and making commitment to listen to 482 classes, how do you feel? Would you be able to make such commitment? In fact, we're not going to have 482 classes on the Shrangama Sutra. We're probably going to have about over 100 classes or so. So it's really nothing compared to the 482. There are people who give all kinds of excuses. They would say that they have to go out to travel with family and friends, to then have gatherings and to see friends and to have different kinds of family chores and work engagement and so on. So they have all kinds of excuses of not listening to the class. Of course, I'm not asking you to completely give up your family life and home and lay practitioner's life, but let's just contemplate upon this. In fact, we only have 2 classes per week on the Shrangama Sutra, and it takes up about 4 hours maximum for these classes. So upon contemplating the time compared to the time you engage in other worldly things, then I think it is reasonable to ask you to spare this time just solely to study the Dharma. In fact, I myself have lots of important things to do, and more important. I have also important things to engage myself in, but I think what you do and what you do not do, the kind of choices that you make, really says a lot about your intention and what is the most important to you. When we're talking about the Shurangama Sutra, I really hope that you have the time to go over and look into different kinds of commentaries. There are great masters' teachings and commentaries that's recorded and written down and published. I really think those kind of teachings are worth to read into. I read that there was a book that's called The Stories of the Noble Ones of the Shurangama Sutra. In fact, it was a professor from Huafan University from Taiwan, and he made a collection of this stories of people who attained realization and insights through reading Shurangama Sutra. In fact, we often talk about how Avatamsaka Sutra and the Lotus Sutra brings insights and realizations and liberation to many people, but the number of people who gained liberation and realization through the Shurangama Sutra surpass in number than those of the previous two sutras. And I know that there are many different commentaries. For example, from the Yuan dynasty, there was a Weizi master. He's a Zen master, and he made a collection of the commentaries of the Shurangama Sutra. And within this collection of commentaries, he collected 9 masters' commentaries. So this compilation of commentaries is in fact quite rich and really important to read into. And another one, there was a master whose name is Zen Master Chuanden, and he made a collection of teachings of the Shurangama Sutra as well. Also, Master Zibo. And he also then wrote into the comment. He also wrote an commentary that is well received and very much renowned in its profundity. So I can list a whole list of great masters who placed a great importance in the Shurangama Sutra. Such like this. All these kind of commentaries I really encourage you to read and study. Many great masters, the way they make comments, they explain this Shurangama Sutra, in fact, they are quite similar. I heard that many people, in fact, found one particular commentary and felt that I only taught throughout that one commentary. That's not true. I read through the Tibetan translation as well as the Chinese and many different commentaries. But what I noticed is that the previous masters really have a very similar explanation. So through your own wisdom, as well as the wisdom of the previous masters, I think you can then observe yourself whether you can understand the profound meanings that is included in this Shurangama Sutra. Even if you cannot understand the most profundity of this sutra, at least you should understand what does this Shrangama Sutra talks about. The Avatamsaka Sutra, the Lotus Sutra, as well as the Shrangama Sutra, in fact, are the three most well-known and most renowned sutras in the Chinese mainland area. And lots of people also know that in this sutra there is the story of Ananda and Matangi, a woman from the Matangi caste. So only knowing these kind of stories is not enough. In fact, I really feel that it is necessary for us to do lots of deep research and focus the research in particular sutras and shastras. And after yesterday's class, I heard lots of people who made the aspiration to then study and to engage in research. I think by doing so, in fact, you are doing a favor to yourself and you're making your life really meaningful. And after you study for a long period of time, then you can write rather a very full and very complete commentary as well. Let's just look at the previous master's commentary. There's so many masters who taught on this, who then wrote commentaries on the Shrangama Sutra and so on. But how about the modern people? I haven't heard for a long period of time whether there are anyone who's giving teaching on the Shrangama Sutra. So let's think about this, contemplate upon why that we have more and more people, we have more and more technological advancement, and more dualistic thoughts. But why is that we have less and less commentaries and less wisdom? So this is something to really worthy of our contemplation. Just as yesterday's story that the old monk said that I only heard of reciting the sutra, not the teaching of the sutras. In fact, I think that's really the truth of what is happening nowadays. I heard lots of people who would then chant and read the sutra, but not teaching the sutra. If you don't give the teaching of the Dharma, then if you don't give teaching of the Dharma, who can understand the Dharma? So this is quite important to give teachings of the Dharma. And that's what I want to talk about it before the actual class. Now let's move into the actual class. Yesterday we talked about the Arhats and Bodhisattvas. They all gathered around after the summer retreat. So they all then gathered around the vihara. Also Manjushri was there. Meanwhile, King Prasannaji, who was keeping the anniversary for his father's death by offering vegetarian food to him. So Prasannaji, we've heard this name a lot for many times. In fact, this name means king of the moonlight. And Shakyamuni Buddha, in fact, had the same birth date with Prasannaji, and Shakyamuni Buddha was called the king of sunlight. So Prasannaji was keeping the anniversary for his father's death. The anniversary for his father's death is rather not so clear in the Tibetan version, but in the commentary where it says that the anniversary for his father's death means the open festival. It is at the last day of the summer retreat, or rather the last one of the 3 last days. Also, it is said on the lunar calendar on July the 15th. So that was the date. And on that day, the king Prasenajit invited the Sangha. Also, it is said that he invited all the Sangha on the second day as well, which is July 16th on the lunar calendar. The open festival is known as the anniversary for then honoring the deceased ancestors and families and relatives and so on. Anyhow, the original story of open festival, in fact, it comes from Moddagalayana. In fact, he, through his ominous power, perceived that his mother is suffering in the hungry ghost realm, some said in hell realm. Anyhow, he perceived that his mother was suffering over there, and he wanted to gift his mother some food because his mother was starving, but his mother could not then receive the food. Therefore, Moddagalayana went to the Buddha and asked what he should do. Then the Buddha gave the teaching of the open festival, and there's a sutra on the open festival, and then through the teaching as well as offering the food to Moddagalayana's mother, his mother got liberated. Open, the word open, what it means is that it's hanging upside down. In one of the realms of the three lower realms, it is said that they suffer a lot where they would hang upside down and suffering greatly. So it means hanging upside down. And then let's go back to the story. So at that time, King Prasenajit then came personally to invite the Tathagata to the inner palace for a royal feast. In the Tibetan version, it means that he invited the Tathagata to the palace, and he went to invite the Tathagata personally and invited them for a royal feast of best and rarest delicacies, to which he also invited the great bodhisattvas in the assembly. He also invited the great bodhisattvas, including Manjushri and many great bodhisattvas. After inviting them, he also invited the elders and lots of lay practitioners or the devotees. In fact, the elders, what it means that is there are the elders who are elders because of their age, because of their wealth, because of their fame, because of their lofty position, because of their wisdom. Anyhow, so those kind of elders, those kind of lay practitioners are the ones who are the patriarchs. In the city, the elders and devotees also offered food to the members of the order and reverently waited for the Buddha's arrival. So all of these people heard that Prasenajit was then hosting a feast for the Tathagata as well as his disciples over there, the great assembly, including bodhisattvas and arhats. And then this group of people also wanted to make offering on that special date, on that auspicious date. So there are lots of the new learners and the arhats and bodhisattvas, all of them. And they prepared for all different kinds of meal. and waited for the Buddha to come and receive the offering. In some Theravada tradition countries such as Sri Lanka, Thailand, Cambodia, and Myanmar, in fact, they still have such kind of tradition of making offering of the meal. In fact, this kind of offering is rather a bit different than those of the Chinese Buddhism as well as the Tibetan Buddhism. But being different doesn't mean that it's wrong, because being different only means that Buddhism adapted to different regions in terms of their customs and their patterns of living. So according to Vinaya, according to the 4 sects of the precepts and so on, in fact, there are some slight differences, but not of the greatest difference. Even those kind of differences are not the most crucial, because it is based on the changes of the different people, different time, and different situations. Anyhow, we cannot take that what's being different as being wrong, because if you were to take it in such a way, then it would rather be very difficult for lots of things to carry on, including our mundane life. So we should use our wisdom to differentiate different kind of situations. So at that time, then Shravasti, the city, was in fact quite busy. Lots of people were all gathered, and they really cherished such opportunity to see the Buddha face to face, to see the great Manjushris face to face. So we can imagine those people must have lots of great merit to see them face in face. Over here it is says that commanded by the Buddha. Saying that Manjushri took the Bodhisattva and Arhats to the royal feast, saying that, okay, Manjushri, Bodhisattva, you should ask the Bodhisattvas and Arhats to then group by group to different doors and to different households, and not only to the palace. In fact, other than the king's palace, there are the homes of the Brahmins, of the elders, and the devotees or lay practitioners. So lots of people all prepared meals for all of these assembly. When Phuntsok Rinpoche and I went to Hong Kong, at that time there was an old monk in Poyo Center. And we stayed there for a little while. That old monk, in fact, has already passed away. And at that time, that old monk always would come to Phuntsok Rinpoche and say that, well, I have a good news. Someone offered meal to us. And the second day, he would say, I have another good news. So and so offered a meal. And Phuntsok Rinpoche would joke with us and say that, does that old Lama have good news for us today? On one day, the old monk was not really happy, and Phuntsok Rinpoche secretively told us that maybe today no one offered food to us because he doesn't seem too happy. And it turned out to be true, in fact. Anyhow, Manjushri, in accord with the request of the Buddha, he took the Bodhisattvas and Arhats to the royal feast. At that time, there were 1,250 bhikshus. Nowadays, it is that all the people who want to offer the meal would come over here and offer the meal. But at that time, it was rather the whole assembly would then separate into groups and go into different places to receive meal. And if this whole event is not organized well, then there could be people who receive too many people but don't have enough food, and people who then prepared meal and offering to the Sangha but did not receive anyone. Also, on top of that, there was no cell phones and so on at that time. Therefore, it must be very difficult to organize this kind of event. So Ananda, who is the main character over here, who is Ananda? Ananda in Tibetan means Gangawu, which means all are joyous. Why is his named? Why does he name has such a name? According to some Vinaya teachings, it is said that the first reason that Ananda is joyous because in his previous life, Shakyamuni Buddha then made a aspiration that predicted his father's name and his attendant's name, which included Ananda. And the second one is that he is really good looking, and therefore he is quite joyous to look at, joyful to look at. And then the third one is that when Shakyamuni Buddha got enlightened, Ananda then was born. So Shakyamuni Buddha was enlightened, Ananda was born. That's why Ananda is named in such a way. He had not come back from a distant engagement. In Tibetan translation, in fact, it didn't specify what it means. But in the Chinese commentary, what it says is that Ananda, in fact, have accepted a special invitation earlier. So a special invitation and a general invitation, they're different. A special invitation is inviting someone in specific, and the general invitation is inviting the assembly. Whomsoever comes, they would make offering. There are people who would make a specific invitation to the ones who are either having special realization or have some kind of special connections. Anyhow, Ananda at that time, he accepted a special invitation from rather quite a distance, from where the Buddha was. And then Ananda probably only went there to receive the offering of either clothing or something else, but not really food. So he was returning to the vihara alone, without his superiors or his acharya. He didn't receive any food. Because he was really far away, so he didn't join the whole assembly to receive the offerings from the people in Shravasti, the city of Shravasti.
供上这个就是再犯就是他当时没有，就是他这里呢就是因为他独自出去的，一般来讲呢
Because he went out
在
alone.
那个这个佛教的有些戒律当中
In fact, according to some of the Vinaya teachings, it is said that the bhikshus and bhikshunis, in fact, the bhikshunis should not go out alone. But for the monks and Shravaka, for the monks, then they can, especially the novice, then they can go out alone. But it is said that if a monk would go out, they'd better go out with a group, with someone else. Over here, what does the superior or the acharya mean? There are three types. The ones who have rather accepted or received the precepts for a much longer time than himself and than student himself. And the other one is that whomsoever have more superior and higher level of merit and wisdom. And for example, there are the ones who probably who are not as senior as those of people who received the precepts for a long period of time, but they've made a great contribution to the monastery. And another one is the ones who have already attained arhathood and realized the nature of dharmata. Sometimes they are then talked separately. For example, the years or the time of receiving the precepts and the time of being ordained. There are different ways of distinguishing this. So those are the superiors. And the second one is his acharya. So none of those are with Ananda. Anyhow, acharyas, there are a few types. For example, there are the acharyas who then ordained, who give the ordination, and there are the acharyas who then transmits the precepts. And acharya upon whom others may rely, who then have the full, who upholds the full precepts. It is the best that if one could rely upon such kind of acharya for 10 years. There's another one who says that it is the acharya who transmits the teachings, giving the teachings of what to uphold and what to abandon. So Ananda have not received such 5 kinds of acharya. So he was returning to the vihara alone, and then went to different places and trying to beg for alms from different places. It was difficult for him to beg for alms. So he was quite hungry without receiving any food. Ananda was the attendant of the Buddha, and at that time I think lots of people would make offering to Ananda. But according to the precepts, it is said that according to Vinaya, it is said that Ananda has quite a few uncommon characteristics. First of all is that Ananda was the relative of the Buddha. Also, he had been the attendant of the Buddha for 20 years. So all the way between the Buddha's enlightenment till his passing. So at that time, in fact, he could receive lots of gifts from others. And he has this characteristic that he doesn't receive other people's gifts. He doesn't receive other people's offering of food and clothing. I think this is quite important. Nowadays, lots of people, lots of lamas, they have some relatives, and the relatives would be very arrogant, and then they would receive gifts from the devotees. I think this is not appropriate. And the other one is that, oh, I am an attendant of a certain teacher, therefore you should give me something, give me some gifts. In fact, I really feel that being an attendant, that is not an appropriate action to uphold. In fact, it is quite a serious action. Some teachers, they have pure precepts. Some they have great knowledge. They have a very pure and simple living. But then attendants, they would go out, and the attendants, they would go out and say that, oh, I know what that teacher needs. That teacher needs so-and-so medicine. That teacher needs so-and-so clothing, and so on. I think this is really terrible, because it's very difficult. It is rather very inappropriate for an attendant to spread such kind of messages to others, to beg for things from others. Let's look at Ananda. Ananda won't seek for things and alms from others with the name of the Buddha. Therefore, the lay practitioners, the attendants, the monastics who are around the teacher, then I really hope that the people who are close to the lamas should not spread such kind of message to beg for alms for the lama, because I think it is quite it could create a difficulty for the lama, in fact, instead of creating favorable conditions. So for those of you who have a good connections to the people who are close to the Lama, I think it is best that you do not spread any kind of rumors. You do not then talk behind the back of the Lama and create obstacles for the Lama's activities. So whomsoever you are, whatever or whomsoever the disciple is, do not use the name of the Lama to benefit yourself. Sometimes, even if you're not trying to benefit yourself, but it is quite important to make sure that you make sure that it is appropriate to say something and appropriate not to say something. Because if you are not being skillful, sometimes the actions and speech could create certain kinds of difficulties and rumors for the Lama. Otherwise, from other people's eyes, from your speech, I think it would make others of not having any devotion or faith towards the Lama, and it may even feel that the Lama is the Lama lacks morality than those of who are mundane people. So Ananda really understood the Buddha's teaching and what the Buddha wants. So in terms of propagating the Lama, or you're trying to help the Lama, especially when it comes to wealth, I think it is quite important to think again and again before you say anything and do anything, because what you do or say may not create benefits or favorable conditions to the Lama, and it could even create obstacles for the Lama. So that's the second characteristic. The next characteristic is that Ananda received the 12 volumes of teachings from the Buddha, and he has perfect memory. It is said that the Buddha has poured all his wisdom from his vase into the vase of Ananda completely. So all the wisdom of the Buddha, in fact, poured into the vase of Ananda, although Ananda at that time did not receive the realization of arhathood, but Ananda was able to memorize perfectly all of the teachings of the Buddha. That is why the Buddha, at the time of him entering into parinirvana, and everyone wanted to then receive the lineage or being the lineage holder of the Buddha, but the Buddha said that Ananda should be the one who should continue this lineage of the Dharma, because he completely understood my teaching. And from the characteristic point of view, from the way of being a good person, Ananda was completely and devoid of arrogance. Ananda was quite humble. Unlike those of people who are close to certain lamas, they're quite arrogant nowadays. So for mundane beings, in fact, these kind of characteristics are worthy of us to study as well. So Ananda is actually quite a great practitioner. Why is it important to talk about the story of Ananda and Matangi? According to Master Han Shen's commentary, where he explained, although he did not explain word to word in the Surangama Sutra, but he explained the most important part, where, for example, why this story is why this sutra opened up with this story, because in our world, in fact, it is difficult for the human beings to surpass the licentiousness, and even Ananda, who is a great practitioner, cannot surpass such kind of desire. And it is because of the Buddha's blessings, Ananda was finally able to then cut through the Maras, the obstacles of the Maras, and based on the Surangama Samadhi and mantra. So all of the other things, in fact, are easy to work with compared to desire. Especially for monastics, it is very difficult to work with desire. Therefore, this kind of sutra for monastics is quite important as well, because we have to keep pure precepts and long for only liberation. Unlike the mundane beings who are tortured by desire all day long. Even for these kind of people who are tortured by desire, then they can be liberated by the Shrangama Samadhi. If desire can be worked with and can be cut through, then the other afflictions are no longer an obstacle. So Ananda was starving at that time, and he held his bow, went door to door, one by one, and in a nearby town. And in his mind, he was thinking that he wanted to go there door by door. In fact, he said that he intended to call the first on the donor who had not given food to a monk on that day. In the Chinese version, what it means is that the Tan Yue, there was a word Tan Yue that's included over there, and Tan Yue represents the Sanskrit dana and means to give, and the second Yue means to transcend. So the meaning of Dhanapati, as based on that transliteration, then is one who gives so that he can transcend birth and death. Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, great arhats, the elders, lay practitioners, in fact, were all then received by Ananda, by the assembly. And then Ananda was thinking that all of those people have made offering to the great to the assembly. Therefore, Ananda thought that he should be the one to receive the teachings, receive the meal or alms from someone who had not given food to monks on that day. And he thought that whomsoever he met, he would receive the food. He would receive from door to door, and he's not going to make any discrimination from one to the other. He's not going to make a differentiation of the noble ones, virtual ones, or an outcast. So he thought that he would go one by one, and he's not going to differentiate what food is better and what is worse, and what is pure, what is not pure, what is noble, what is the royal family, what is the Kshatriya family, what is the family of the outcast, and he's not going to make any of those kind of differentiations. He's going to only then equally and compassionately to receive whatever alms that they would give to him. And he made an aspiration. What kind of aspiration then? He said that his practice of universal compassion, he did not especially choose a poor man as his patron. He wanted to help all living beings to earn countless merits. And he wanted to help all living beings to earn countless merit. For he had seen, over here it said that he wanted to help all living beings. According to the Tibetan version, it says that he wanted to then help all the donors. I think in terms of explaining the literary meaning, then it's easier to explain it in such a way, because not all living beings is a little difficult for all living beings to make offering to him. But if it is that he wanted to help the donors to earn countless merits, then it is easier to understand. He could make such aspiration, though. In his heart, he understood that the reason of making such aspiration is he saw the Buddha scold Shupati and Mahakashyapa, who, though being arhats, could not realize universal mind or equanimity when begging for alms. He witnessed how the Buddha scolded Shupati and Mahakashyapa because Shupati wanted to eradicate the stinginess that is usually common in the rich families. Therefore, he specifically went to the rich families to beg for alms. And Mahakashyapa, already he was the one who practiced ascetic practices, and he then wanted to accumulate merit for all the poor ones. Therefore, he always went to the poor ones to beg for alms. And then the Buddha scolded both of them. The Buddha said that, why do you do that? Shupati is just too extreme. He knows all the big bosses and all the famous and rich ones. Some practitioners nowadays, they also do that. If someone who has money and who has fame, then they're treated well. And for those ones who do not have any of those, then they're not treated well. Such as Mahakashyapa always then despised those who are rich and famous, but favored those who are poor. In Chinese mainland, in places where it's rather poor and not developed, lots of great masters don't really go there. So I think they must be learning from Shupati rather than Mahakashyapa. According to collected commentaries of the discourse on the stages of yogic practice, where it says that deluded beings are attached to delicious food, thus they prefer the rich than the poor to beg for food. The compassion of Shravakas and Pratika Buddhas is limited, so they beg for food from the poor rather than the rich. Great bodhisattvas are free from attachment, and their compassion is limitless. They are devoid of all the narrowness, and they do not differentiate the poor from the rich. Thus, their way to beg for food is named as begging from door to door. So they do not differentiate. For mundane beings, in fact, the mundane beings would treat the ones who are famous and rich really well. And they're great practitioners. The great practitioners, they feel that all the money and wealth, and those are the sources and roots of all the afflictions. Therefore, they would prefer to live in a life that is rather simple and quite similar to those of the Shravakas and Pratika Buddhas. So they would then try to be apart from those famous and rich people. But usually, what people would see the Buddhas is that the Buddhists, in fact, they would judge the Buddhists based on the prerequisites of the Shravakas and Pratika Buddhas. But the great bodhisattvas are not like that at all. Jamyam Khyentse Wangpo, who stayed and lived in a great palace, a beautiful palace, and he had such great merit to do so. And then at that time, there are people who then who are practitioners would slander him. Although for such kind of practitioners, maybe they have lots of desire and lots of the three afflictions in their heart, although they may live in a rather simple lifestyle and a situation, but their three poisons are far more surpassed than those who are great practitioners living in a palace. It is said that the unusual actions of Bodhisattva and Nagarjuna's view, by the uncommon actions that practiced by Khenpo Sahur and the view and upholding the view of Nagarjuna and practice in the way that is in accord with the Shravakas and the Pratika Buddhas, and that is the best way of that is the best practice of the Nyingma school. So Ananda was very much admired the Buddha's teaching, and he then practiced according to the Tathagata's teaching. And eliminated all his doubts and suspicions in this respect. Over here, it doesn't mean that eliminate the poor or the rich family. Rather, it means that he eliminate his doubts and suspicion and remain in equanimity. To remain in such kind of equanimity. And eliminate others' doubts as well, such as some families may feel that why do this group of people always come here? And if this assembly always go to rich families, and then poor families would also feel that why would this group of Shramanas always go to rich families but not poor? So, from the education of the Buddhism, in fact, it is stated that the rich ones who have made great contribution to the Dharma, in fact, those group of people should not be ignored. Unlike how the rich people are regarded as rather the group of people that they should avoid according to Shravakas. So it should not be on any kind of extremes. You should not ignore the ones who are rich and nor the ones who are poor. And everything should be done according to the different kind of a situation. You should then remain equanimity with skillfulness. So when Ananda reached the town's gate, in fact, it is not only the town's gate. There was usually a river that circulates around the town to by means of protecting the town. And then he walked slowly, adjusting his mien to the rules of discipline. Usually, if one enters into a town, then for monastics, they uphold certain rules to adjust their clothing and their demeanor, as well as their actions, their walks, and it has to be very dignified, where would arouse the kind of respect and veneration from other people. So Ananda then uphold such kind of discipline and such kind of demeanor to beg for alms.
就是他下面呢就是讲到啊，就是好像那个真见大师呢，就是说
According to Master Zhenjian,
加倍尽斥，就是他
he said that he then
当中也是
specifically
就是他真言呢
and
就是
specially
就是以不放逸的这种
give
行为
Rose
或者说
to
非常
right
加倍的
mindfulness
这个谨慎
and
就是这种谨慎，就是这样的行为呢
double
还是
his
这个入场
attention
一般
to
出家人
appropriate
这种成熟的
actions.
话那就是让大家呢就是不要这个生起邪见啊，
And
不要
he
这个生起这
purposely
种无法的
wanted
信
to
念等等
uphold
这样
such kind of
那么这个
demeanor
时
so
候
that
呢
other
他呢
people
就是因
won't
为他这个
view
其
him
实呢
and
私
won't
利
have
性
wrong views towards
那
him.
么他呢就是进
And
到
then
这
he
个
came
阴
to a
的这种
house
妓
of
妓院啊，就是相当于
prostitute,
是妓院一
a
样，
brothel.
他可能是个人的这种饮食，但是他到了这个那里，然后呢就是遭到了这个
And
无
then
情女的无
where
情
that's
这个
where
话
he
说他
met
们这个
a mother,
他
the
的这个
mother
母亲呢就是
from
一起做
the
那个
Matangi
这种
caste.
灌输吧，就是实际上有些经典当中讲的
In fact,
不
there
同亲缘就是
there
并不
was
是
a
这
mother
个
and
意
a
思
daughter,
实
and
际上
then
是
first
很
he
早以
met
前
the
是
mother.
对这个阿
In
难的这个
fact,
庄严圣像呢，就是
the
非
daughter
常
of
这个执着，就是一直呢就是很
this
多次的
low
这个
caste
强调的这
woman,
个
the
那么这次
Matangi
的话呢
woman,
就是因为不定的这
she
个因缘呢，
had
就是阿难
been
尊者呢
the
就是已经
wife
到了这
of
个门
Ananda
那
for
么这个次呢
500
就是
lifetimes.
然后
And this
同期的
time,
话呢就是也
upon
是
seeing
刚开始
Ananda,
的时
she
候不
had
愿意
great
跟这个阿难
desire
呢
for
有这样
Ananda.
这种但
And
是
the
其实
mother
摩登
didn't
摩登
really
情侣的
want
母亲
to
的话呢
lure
对这个
Ananda
对
in
去看似
to
很有功德
marry
的
his
他说
daughter,
我们要如果
to marry her
一个
daughter.
人要就是控制的话那
And
这个
at first,
那
her,
头脑
the
这个
mother doesn't
贪
want to
欲
do it
贪欲
because
断
she
了
felt
贪欲断了
she
的话
had
呢
lots
我
of
们就没办法
veneration
控制
towards
它，
Ananda
就像
as
这个
well.
去他一样的
But
就是阿罗汉一样的，就这没办法的。然后还有一种的话呢，就是私人就是没办法的，就是让他
but she couldn't.
就构造或者
But the
三次
mother,
就是
but the daughter kept on begging the mother, and she couldn't refuse her anymore. And the mother told the daughter, saying that there are two kinds of people that that I cannot control by this Kapila magic, and that is first of all it is the Buddha, and the second of all is the person who is dead.
我一定会是我把我
So
最珍贵的命呢，就是献给你，就是等等。
Ananda,
这样一直为
so
生
the
最
daughter
后这个母亲的话呢，就是也没
kept
办
on
法
begging the
她当
mother
时做
to
了各种什么牛粪呐，就是种
to
种
give the
东西
spell
现
to
在
Ananda so
也
that
在
Ananda
那
would
个
agree
典礼里面
to
的话呢
marry
好像
her.
有一些但是这个可能时间人拍的话，就是整个
Nowadays,
国际里面
and
的
there's
很多
the
神圣的这
movie
些意义
that
导致
is
它
shown
特别
in the
拍得
movie.
特
I
别
think
这个精彩，只
the
是它这个
profound
阿难跟摩
meaning
登伽女之间
of
的这个
the
关系呢，
sutra
就是拍
was
得
not
就是跟
really
有些地方的可能
was
太
not
疏
really
了
shown,
就是
but
太多了
some
但有些地
parts
方的话呢
were
也是可以这个让大家
rather
也是这个
too
引起这个
worldly,
思考啊，就
but
是
some
人
parts
这
I
个
think it
遇到
could
在这种场合当中
really
到底是什么样的。
give some
所以
insights
当时呢
of
就是这个摩
our
登伽女呢
contemplation.
这个
Therefore,
以这个梭毗罗
at that time
梭毗迦罗，就是梭毗迦罗是也可以说是这个咒语的名字，也可以叫做是他母亲呢，就是
the
到
mother
这个
then
叫这个
used
黄
the
法
means
黄
of
色图法
Kapila
的一
magic.
个外道的这
So
个派
Kapila
那么他们
is
呢
a
就是依靠这
Kapila
个十
religion
梵
that
天
is a
把这个
heretic
修成的一种咒语，就把这个
religion where they would practice the Brahmin heavens practice, and they received this Kapila magic, the Kapila mantra. And by using such magic, the mother then draw Ananda close to her central body on the mat, and so that he was on the point, on the verge of breaking the rule of his pure precept. Shall we play the short clip?
布拉克瑞提，告诉妈妈，你是不是有心上人了？他是哪个种姓的后人？
他高贵、神圣，却又和我平等无别。
阿难的尊者，这怎么可能？他是布达的堂弟，贴身侍者，连国王都要尊敬他、信仰他。 怎么能劝他来当你的丈夫呢？你怎么能生出要嫁给他这样罪恶深重的念头呢？
好，既然妈妈不愿意成全，我现在就一死了结了吧。
你住手！甚是荒唐。我的好孩子，你可是妈妈唯一的骨肉。你现在这么做，妈妈会更加痛不欲生的。
妈妈，求您就成全我。
可是，安娜达跟不跟你成亲，不是我们能够决定的。我实在是想不明白，我用什么样的方法能让一个出家人和你成亲？这太荒唐了。
妈妈，你不是经常说我们马达嘎家族世代传承一个威力无比的金发仙咒吗？
可以了。
那可是梵天
All right,
传
that's
下来
it.
的神咒。
好。然后我们本来他们可能安排了，但时间
Originally, I think they have a longer video, but I think we're running out of time, so we're not going to play the rest of the video anymore.
安娜呢，就是被这个
And then at that time,
这种幻术就是受这个加倍控制了。
the Tathagata knew that Ananda was then lured by this Kapila magic. Originally, the Buddha was supposed to give the teaching of Dharma and then dedicate the merit. But then, instead of doing all of that, the Buddha stood up and sent out from the top of, and then he then left because he perceived that Ananda was in trouble. So at that time, all the cabinets, all the great elders and the kings, they all followed the Buddha because they had no idea what happened. They felt that what's the problem? The Buddha has not taught the Dharma yet. They wished to hear about the essentials of the Dharma, but they had not. Therefore, they followed the Buddha, and then the Buddha sent out from the top of his head a bright and triumphant, multicolored light within which appeared a transformation Buddha seated with crossed legs on a 1,000-petaled lotus. In fact, he chanted this transcendental mantra at that time. Mantra that has 9 syllables. I will provide that syllable to you later, the mantra syllables to you later. And then all of the people heard this mantra. And the Buddha then ordered Manjushri to use this mantra to overcome the Kapila magic and to bring Ananda with Matangi to the vihara. So Ananda at that time, Manjushri went to where Ananda was and then brought as well as carrot. So according to Tibetan language, it means that Manjushri then brought Ananda and Matangi to the vihara to roped them together and brought them back. No, in fact, he didn't, but he brought them back. According and with the transcendental mantra, based on the blessings and power of transcendental mantra, Ananda did not break his vow, did not break his precept, and both Ananda and the Matangi woman were brought back to the Buddha.
这个佛陀就是问，就是为什么这样？就是他说我特
And
别
at that
喜
time,
欢
according to Matangi Woman's Sutra, or the Buddha's discourse to Matangi woman, it says that when the Matangi Buddha came to the Buddha, then the Buddha asked, if you want to marry to Ananda, then you should shave off your hair, because look at Ananda, he shaved off his hair, then you should do the same. Can you do that? And then Matangi woman said, sure, I can do that. And then Matangi woman went back to her mother and asked her mother to shave off her hair. And her mother was extremely upset and said that this is our tradition to keep long hair. Why do you want to shave it off? I can find a much more rich and much more famous man for you to marry to. Why do you want to shave off your hair? And then Matangi continuously to beg for her mother that please shave off my hair, because if you don't do that, I can't marry to Ananda, I will die. Just like how the mundane worldly people in China would say that if I were alive, I am your person. If I were dead, then I am your ghost. And Matangi then, after shaved off her hair by her mother, she came back to the Tathagata and begged the Tathagata again, saying that now I've shaved off my hair, can I please get married to Ananda and live with him? And then the Buddha asked, so what do you like about Ananda? And Masangi started saying, I like his nose, his eyes, his mouth, his ears, his voice, his demeanor, I like everything about him. And then the Buddha said that, well, inside the eye there's there are tears, and out of the nose there are there are mucus, and out of the mouth there are saliva, and out of ears there are all the different kinds of things within the body of Ananda. Then what's the point of living with Ananda that is really full of defilements and dirts? And upon contemplating on this, Masangi understood what this body's truth is, and right away he attained arhathood. Lots of disciples were extremely surprised and said that this woman had lots of desire and had lots of grasping towards Ananda. How did she get arhathood right away? And then the Buddha replied, saying that in fact Ananda and Masangi had been spouses for 500 lifetimes, and they were deeply in love with each other for 500, very much attached to each other for 500 lifetimes. And this time, because they finally have such opportunity to listen to the supreme teaching of selflessness, and therefore they both attained realization. And then at that time, Masangi, upon attaining arhathood, she felt extremely embarrassed and kneeled down in front of the Buddha, saying that you are the lamp in the darkness, you are the ship that carries me to the other shore, and you are the one who carries me who is like a blind. So now I am really grateful that I finally received and finally stepped onto the path of the Dharma. In fact, Shurangama Sutra had shown the attachment that mundane beings have towards one another. Especially the worldly beings are fettered by desire, not having one moment of freedom, but due to and because of the power of the transcendental mantra of Shurangama mantra, then you'll be able to unfetter yourself. And this is the profound meaning that's taught in this sutra.
Sunum de tanche zubanye tonani behedana panche Jirgan anji
balon jibaya Jabim zulim joa dolvare Shan diba sanje namda Shagjayam jitin tagna kam jigim chol parajer Kayam abshin te tagaram nyere waram Samzog shang chibiram bere sanjivshin Shagjagale janam janyala ba te tagaja chere yonsa tag parajer Shang chibi shang wan chong shig jarvata Sanje ji jerab te kamar shog Shagji sim jana kanam janyala ba te tagada namil devarajer Doa Ganje chuje donnamanam tambara jarjarewa am deparasho Shanchibib shirpa tagna dagshada jam doa kanda jiwa jambara jir Tserava kandam chimpur jiwa nash tagtab dagna raptam jamvarasho Jarava ganji jisum lob jiradem zombub shirpa yonsa zob shili jam Salatamam jirpa timmili yon tagapa Tagta manyamam chumila chuparasho Haye kata latan lobjana kala chalvama tagtama ya kana manda doa ganji janam chatsam bar thamchada kadab dagi chuptanando tesham bharulan shinlarab sunandim shanchibisim namayam jilmagir digba ganam japar kirpa taga te taga mali yonsab shangvarasho Litam yolmam dalje namalim turjam jitin do anam sayang chatar palmo chima charbab jan nirda nam kar thogba mehtarab shad jangam chundam shognam jazam barangan sonding alarat javarab shileb dewa taglam do akam gorajang do tham jadanan pambarab shad shanchab jarba yons zo shile jan simjana dakam shuratam tambaram Zambul shirba tagna raptunanja Maom karaba kandab shulparajar Dakim shulatam sombara kam shulaba De tagatana tagatam jagbarasho Naganam tana simji jam shulba tagatam olam abshitab shal Dagla pambaram dulbu jogbu tagab Zambul shulba rapta tumbanam Te tagataya tagata chaparasho Te tagab dagi namya yadamagayon Sardi jim kurvim gombo namam gomsama tagab dagi jaravata Mawam karaba kandam machuar Te tagalayam shulba jachirabja Yarvanam jitambu chumzan jam shanchib shulba kanda nawarab shir Zambob shulba number jawaya Maom karba kanda jalbarabja Shulba tamchalatayam kurwanam Sunama yashi tagna mazalamni Tatang shirba tamzana nam tarada Yundan kanje mazalam zotajir Darchi tana darnyala janam de Jantar samji makyab sardyanam Sardye teje winam shikpalab Shangjib shalabam shulajang tavarabja Tetara mali tamchila shosaya Chatzamam chunla dik zaman salanyalaje Sardye jamso janam jamso tam Karpa jamso chujang rabdanji Sonchigi yallaga jamso dakalaji Jalva kanaya yallaga nam tagapa Doa kanjam samba chibjanaya Sardye sonla tagdam jigparabja Isama shagpa jarva tamjaladam Kurulum saranam rattam kurvaya Te tagakaya sonyam mavzalala Bloye tubjib dagajang rattam jig Karpa tamjalam jibraya Kachi chikim dagajam jigparabja Kayam karpa teksaman salte Kachi chaji jina jigparabshad Te samab shagpa maya sange ka Te taga kachi chiglam dakiftar Tagta te taga kanab shoyalala Jamara kirpa nam tara tubjim jig Kaya di sama daga jam kolapa Te taga dalji tangdam umbarabba Te Tetra Malim Shonaman Tamchadata Yarava Taka Janam Kolamji Kayam Abshin Jitin Durmanam Shanchiverim Beram Tandiam Korodop Koram Yangan and Deeper Rapta Jam Tartun Gombo Kandi Tonta Damcho Kandam Yervizim to the Tunamada, Kani Goya Tapa, Stop Tagata, Kanda Yondanam Shurpa Tunamada, Kanda Chapa Shamba Taka, Kanim gave him Sunamand of Dagadam, Chapa, Mapara Terpa, Yashit of Sheraba Tabda, Tamzan of Tagaki, Sanchabatunamayan Tagada said, Liji Tunamayan Satab Jam, New Motun, Namakandam, Jumber Shilab, that on Namato Miller Abshirija, Zambo Shurbaton of Zaparabia. Janama Jamto number of Shirija, Simchina Jamto Tagna number Durum, Chunama Jamto Raptum, Tom Shirija, Yashi Jamto Rapta Topper Shed, Shopa Jamto number of Shirija, Mulama Jamto Yonsa Zopper Shillas, Hardy Jamto Raptum, Chup Shirija. Kaya di samam shirpa jaravayam shanchib shirpa molamam shetaranam zambub shirpib shanchib sandine te kanam daki mani zoparaj jarava kanje tija thawo pa kanga man kandab zambjib sham kiba te dam sombar japub shir gevan da daga tham chadarab tavno Litang ta yil janam daga jam shurbanam daga janam yon daga pav no zampum kipam chemdawa dem daga jan de dam sombrasho Kanigi wa zambo jabub sharam jam holajin molamam jabub mawam karpa kanta machovar dev shawa malib zoparaj shopa tagna sayud majirji yundana nam jan sab zong me barasho shopa samele palani ne jan te tagam charpa tham chalam chalavarabja nam kim dhartu jirpa chatsam bar simchana malim thaya dev janante chatsamali tam Mon Tajarabab, Daka, Molam Tayan de Zammo. Kayam Shochi, Janam Tai, Barin Chinam Yantim, Jalavanam La Pala, Hadamaya Devam, Chonamajan, Jangab, Daniela Karparam Paravavi. Ganging over Jerpun, the two names, Shanchavan Chokka, Jisuram Motion. Zamyam Talpam Tirpanam, so Namatambum Chotam Tamjero. Can't give some should the Mulam and the Tapi, Tinang and Son Tam to the Bambaram Ger, then a Jopong and Barbayan, no one tie, they are Demiram Ton. Tetagan yet param yet they were and so much in the Rayan, Tetagal Paraon. Kandab Zampo, they are Chandra, Tetaram Puramato Division Ger. Samilang Apo Taka Divanama, Ganga, Mashi, one give she patag. They Zampo shall band the Jadanam, near the Mali, also Shawaranger. Sanamadari Takatoanam Tandambaram Jereb, the Tamar Tagamambu de Mata, Jitinus and Bokanam Chadbaramger, Shanchibisha want on the Dimiram do, Sony Simchanam Hamshirap and their stay, Shanchibis Hardin Corlor at the Kura, the Namade Dam Jibat and Chadabter. Kayam Zambu should be Molamanda, Chawa down the Tuntamalonaya. They number Mamba, Sanjim Chenam, Shanchavan, Chola, Sumyam, Abshedji, Jam Hodawa, Chitterim Kimbata, Kanda, Zambo, they are division and they. They can get this up, Dagan Hovisher, gave and the Tagatam Chatar of no. This a measure per Jerva Tamjid, Moa, Kanglam, Chotam, Garbati, Daka gave us and Decan and Jam, Zambo, Jobsher after more of you. Dagan Chibim, Tipsher, Jerpana, Japatam Chatagan, Shepsalati, Monsamana, one time, Tim Tony, Deva, Chanje, Jantar of them. Tirson in Mulam that Tagajan, Tamchada Malim, Muntam, Jervarasho, Tetaga Malim, the king also gone, Jitin, Church the Simchanam Pambaravia, Yalavar, Jim Korav Zanjan, Gava, Tir, Pamutam, back and Tanzilisti. Now I'm tired, Jellywing on some under, long time bayam, the Kater Tovasho. Ternab daki long tenarab tevenim to the pamang boshi wam chakjai. Bloye to jeep shokja nam sayan simchan nam la pamba mang bubja. Mulam domba yo giwa chong zalab daki chap sapa tenan dova mulam giwa nam kachi chikin tham chalam jurvarisho kayam zambu shurbandan ngobim sunam thai tamba kang thugdi doev dev ngalam chavarab shawanam oda khagam bani rabat huparisho mulam jarbun datakam chokasum thai duwa kanna tham chirjang Cantap zambu jambu jantvahte ngan soni nam male stomver sandir kasamam nib shanabadam chunyalam jirdim bashanabada gimdanam shalam dam bashanabaji chataram mollaman japarasho Tanayata Pantanandraya Agwan Buddhana Sohai Bami Diji Durji Danjam Jabjapanam Lirabalamba Karamantonot Ripa Quatim Shim Jimmy the Panzo Javla Soravan Divitijadar Gomb Shandabanyan Laji Tila Chitam Deeper Shinji Aloy Om Sortayata Dodamira Salangar Milata Landavuruki Zipabam Jova Sasama Jala Jamzum Chinni Jigela Shinchina Bubba Shipa Solom Mila Jamzoro Hova Nyam Tagandur Takapa Yashi Now I'm Chok Zolo Jan Soshan Ham Jibanyam Jeraton Donki Jibzan Mala Sorovan Devakati Mamjer Durji Shi served and Chanim Zabim Shokyam Korlo Chabanim Janam Chayan Tam Sir Samai Tamdro Pandi Ranta Chonjera Javni Jarava Tifjatazam Mo Tam Tagdana Tam Chon Jam Zunim Tiastoba Mela Nasama Dimburim Jabba Gimson Barajam Lapa Samdan Garmi and Zambayam Depa Soji named the Yonka Jan Takatam Shadadu Shavi Tanam Tivar Taftanam Shamtar Jeep Chashi Shoy Om Bandara Gare Panama Sadai Om Bandara Gare Panama Sadai Om Bandar Gara Palma Sada